Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to race number 8 of our Mark Martin Revenge Tour custom schedule season for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series on NASCAR 07 on the PS2. This is at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, or of course at this time it was titled sponsored by Lowe, so the Lowe's Motor Speedway for today's race. A 50% race for the second time this season means that we only have 250 miles in this very quick race and 167 laps for the scheduled distance today. We'll be starting from the rear of the field, no practice or qualifying, entering today's race as we try to get Mark Martin his 6th win in the first 8 races of the season. It's been an unbelievable start, to say the least, this year. Coming off a 3rd place finish in the first road course race of the year at Watkins Glen. We will see if Mark Martin will be able to get back to victory lane here today. Ryan Newman, the winner at Watkins Glen. The only other winner this year outside of Martin and Newman would have been Jeremy Mayfield in the 4th race of the season at Bristol for the Food City Day race. Green flag is in the air. We're underway. It'll be Matt Kenseth on the pole, leading the field to the green. Mark DeMars, Wade Solinsky, Corey Freet. A little stack up there off turn 4. Big move by Mark Martin down to the inside. 3 wide up in front of him. Paul Menard bounces off the outside wall, which stacked everything up. Big dive into turn 1 for Martin as he clears the 15. Jimmy Johnson starting at the rear of the field for the 2nd straight race as well. He ended up finishing 8th at Watkins Glen. And how about Martin Truex Jr. in the 1 car to the race lead? To the front of the field. Martin to the inside of Burt now. And we went caution-free in the Truck Series race at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. That was a 100% race, 134 laps. This one being a little bit longer. We'll see what this will bring. Martin trying to make a pass on Jeremy Mayfield. Mayfield did not give Martin a lot of room. A little bit of contact between the 2 cars. Martin drives on, and now he gets by Kyle Petty. Big run into the back of the 96, and we have a huge wreck on the front stretch. Caution's out for the first time. They stacked up. I think Dave Blaney ended up getting loose off turn 4. And then Tony Raines got plowed into hard from behind by Mark Martin. Spun him right in front of Kevin Harvick and David Stremme. And just a few laps into this race, we already have a caution. Mark Martin gonna be pitting with this caution flag coming out. Can't take Fieldler tires being involved in the accident. 4.2 seconds of damage for Mark Martin. He hit Tony Raines very, very hard there. Philip Moore also welcome into the stream.
Nobody else decided to come in.
Yeah, I mean, I should have checked up a lot sooner than what I did. There was time for me to do it, and I just didn't do it. Green flag back in the air. Following the lap 4 caution. Martin Truex Jr. continues to lead in the number 1 for DEI. And Mark Martin did not take off well on this restart. Hopefully that damage isn't going to cost him too much speed-wise. Tony Raines had a lot of damage to the back of his car. It looked like Kevin Harvick had quite a bit to the front of that 29 Chevrolet as well. So Martin drops back. And even though this is a shorter race, a lot of racing though still to go in this one. Car feels a little tight now all of a sudden with the damage to the front of the race car. He tried to repair it under that pit stop. Not going to be able to repair it all, though, in this game. especially when you hit somebody that hard. A lot of stack-ups, though, off of turn 4. And we've got maybe another checkup. Martin staying low, making some passes, 3 wide. Reed Sorensen jacking everybody up that time. Martin with the deep dive into the corner. Slid up almost into Sorensen. Not quite, though, and he ends up clearing him. Joshua Rumsey, thanks for tuning in also. Watch the 2013 FedEx 400 at Dover. Matt Kenseth win that race, or did he win the fall race at Dover? 2013. Thought he won one of the times at least at Dover 2013. I could be wrong on that too. Looking low. Underneath the 103. One car into the wall on the front stretch heading towards turn 1. Looked like one of the fantasy drivers. A lot of bottom left open by Kurt Busch in the number 2 that Martin got underneath him. Center of the corner. Doubleheader tonight. We have this stream obviously going on right now. And then we have a Throwback Thursday live stream coming up after this race at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will watch the 2001 Fall Dover race for this weekend's classic race watch along. Of course, it was the first NASCAR race after 9/11. And we'll actually watch the national anthem to that race as well. Some of the pre-race festivities, as well as the race itself. Again, that will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Martin to the inside of Mayfield. Not a lot of room there. A little bit of contact. And Martin will make the pass. Probably wouldn't have if it wasn't for the contact. It really got the 19 out of shape. Oh, it was a fall race. Okay. Oh, where Kenseth won? And there's Tony Raines. There's the driver Mark Martin got into. Spinning him out on the front stretch. Giving us our first caution of the day. I don't know how fast his 6-car Mark Martin is. He definitely seemed to be a little bit quicker before he got into the back of Raines, bringing out that first caution. So he just doesn't quite look as quick now. Worried about me? Yeah, it stinks seeing Rogers go. Writing has been on the wall for about a month or so now, but maybe even more. It's going to be weird. A little bit of contact down into that first turn. Martin found himself on the outside. 174. Has a run on Brian Vickers to the outside now into turns 3 and 4. 176 right in front of Mark on this outside lane. He got a bit loose there. Jacking Mark Martin up just a little bit. Martin able to cut inside. Dive bomb underneath the 25 of Brian Vickers. That was a big slide job by Martin. He will complete the pass for 28. I will say Jimmy Johnson, who started outside the top 35 today, has already broken inside the top 25 in just the first 18 laps. He's having a solid race going for himself. Johnson, a master at this racetrack around this time period in NASCAR. Of course, the season taking place for the 2006 season. Contact with that 176. That stalled Mark Martin out just a little bit as well. I mean, Jordan Love did start against, was it the Chiefs a couple years ago and Rodgers had COVID? He played pretty good. One of the games he came in, middle of the game when Rodgers got hurt this season as well. Big run to the inside there for Mark Martin. Passes 2 cars on the front stretch. After, looked like the 198 car got a bit loose off turn 4. Joe Nemechek kept from running into the back of him, and Mark Martin clears them both. Moving himself up to 23rd. Patrick Shadley, thanks for tuning in. What would have happened if David Gilliland won in the Uncharted 36? Talk about Todd Gilliland? Like last week at a Talladega? Are you talking Todd, or talking a long time ago with David? I mean, Todd's running full-time in the Cup Series, even though he's running in 3 different cars this season. Because he's going to start all the races, he would still be playoff eligible. But if he were to miss a start this season, then he would not be playoff eligible unless he gets a waiver. But he would be playoff eligible even with all the different teams he's raced as. Or race 4, I should say. So Greg Biffle out in front for the first time today. Big start for the Biff right now. He's been looking really good these last 2 races. Led some laps at Watkins Glen, but looked even stronger the race before that. Couldn't get a win in either one, though. And he's trying to go for that first win of the season today. We will take our first field pass of the race at the start-finish line. We'll drive as Jamie McMurray in the 26 car first. So he gets by Jimmy Johnson for that 21st place position. Went a bit wide into turn 1, though, and Johnson's going to look to try to get back underneath him. Jamie holding on. Walks the 48 down on the bottom and clear into turn 3. It's clear for a brief moment. Johnson looking pretty quick, though. And again, McMurray gets a nice run off the exit of the corner. Looks low underneath Scott Riggs. And gets his way up to 20th. Mark Martin and Jimmy Johnson, the only 2 drivers to finish in the top 10 through each of the first 7 races this season as they try to keep that streak alive. Martin has not finished worse than 3rd. That 3rd place finish at Watkins Glen, the last race, was his worst finish of the season so far. Harvick's fought his way through quite a few cars since the restart as well. Murray following Dale Jarrett, getting by the Dover Monster in the number 100 car, clear. Jarrett squeezing Jamie Mack a little bit there. McMurray holding on. How about Jamie McMurray passing the 14 car for 14th? Jimmy Johnson's followed through every one of those cars. We just saw the 26 pass. McMurray up to 14th place. Johnson now in the top 15 for the first time. We will slingshot forward now, and we will drive as the 17 of Matt Kenseth next. Nice paint scheme on the 17. Kenseth in 9th. Casey Kane, Ryan Newman, Kyle Busch, and Tony Stewart will be the 4 cars in front of him. Potentially Elliott Sadler after that. No, never mind. Sadler's one of the cars in the rear view of the 17. Wow, big corner entry there. Newman makes a quick pass on Kyle Busch. Kenseth to the inside of Casey Kane for 8th. A little bit of contact. Kenseth up to 8th. J.J. Yaley, solid run in that 18 car. Coming off a top 10 at Watkins Glen. Looking for back-to-back top 10s today. Side-by-side for 3rd up there. I think that might be Bobby Labonte in the 43 car at 3rd. He also had a top 10 at Watkins Glen. Solid run there. Kenseth battles Kyle Busch for 7th on track. Earnhardt will lose 4th to Tony Stewart. Yeah, and I'm sure Bowman will get the medical waiver. Kenseth just ran a faster lap than any other Roush car so far today. So he gets to the inside of Kyle Busch, makes a clean pass for 7th. Really low exit off turn 2. Gonna stay behind Ryan Newman for a little bit longer. And now we will transfer up to the 16 of Greg Biffle at the start-finish line. Kenseth got sideways off turn 4, clipped the apron a little bit. Kyle Busch will get around it, but that was a big-time save by the 17 of Kenseth. About this top 3 right now. Truex going wide. Bobby Labonte trying to go for 2nd. What a drive for that 43 car. Dodge has been doing pretty well, probably the 2nd best manufacturer as far as the wins total go, that is the sake. Behind only Ford, who has Mark Martin in victory lane 5 times in the first 7 races. Greg Biffle trying to get his first win of the season today. Tony Stewart drives up to the inside of the 43 next. Let's say Biffle got to the lead on the one of Truex when Truex was leading. But Greg Biffle not able to really pull away. Tony Stewart has a run looking to the outside in turn 1. Biffle just going to try to protect the bottom. Stewart taking a gamble, trying to go to the outside lane. It's not going to work out for him. He's got Bobby Labonte underneath him now in the back straightaway. And into turns 3 and 4. Biffle overdrove the entry just a little bit. Keeps the car planted enough to the bottom. Labonte clear for 2nd again. Dale Jr. going for 3rd as Stewart starts to fall backwards just a hair. About halfway out of gas this point in the run right now. Again, we had a caution already in the early going. Hungry One, thanks for tuning in. We will go back to Mark Martin for right now. Martin definitely struggling in the early going of this one, though. 23rd place position right now. He's about 5.2 seconds off the lead, maybe 5.3. All 43 cars, I do believe, are still in the race. I don't think anybody DNF'd from that lap 4 accident. Took out a few cars. Or involved a few cars, but didn't actually take them out. Tony Raines obviously got the worst of that crash. We passed him on the restart, so we know he's still in the field. We saw Harvick, obviously, as well at one point. Really tight getting into 3. Right behind the 0-1 of Joe Nemechek. Nemechek went way wide in the second half of turns 3 and 4. Gave up a lot of bottom. And Mark Martin is going to complete the pass for 22nd cleanly on the 0-1 of Front Row Joe. With a nice run in the backstretch. Dover Monster can easily let Mark go. the very least, Mark Martin just looking to keep a top 10 streak alive the way this race has gone so far. We'll alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in this one. Probably looking at a 2 pit stop race today. Nobody pitted during that first yellow with it being very early. What I eat for dinner? Some loaded tater tots from a restaurant, local restaurant. He's led quite a few laps now, roughly 20. He's led the most of any driver in the early going of this race. Yeah, I did see they moved the start time to the Cup race up an hour, so that means our start time will be moved up an hour as well. So originally, this Sunday, we were going to be going live at about 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now we'll be going live at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for an early Sunday afternoon race at Dover. The Monster Mile. About a quarter of a tank of gas left. At this point in the run right now for Mark Martin. Maybe we see 3 pit stops in this race. And I think we may see 3 stops because it looks like Greg Piffle will pit from the lead. So does Matt Kenseth, who is also in the top 10. Quite a few other drivers on pit road. Out of the cars that were ahead of Mark Martin there. That'll be 5 bonus points for Dale Jr. leading his first lap of the race. Martin going low, got underneath Jeff Green. Dale Jarrett just to the outside. A lot of contact made there on the front stretch between Martin and Jarrett. Jamie McMurray now onto pit road for Roush Fenway Racing. That means Mark Martin, the only Roush car that still has to pit. Dale Jr. pitted that last time, so now it'll be Ryan Newman receiving 5 bonus points for leading that last lap. Newman will stay out at least one more lap. See Jeff Gordon coming in, J.J. Yaley coming in from the top 10. Mark Martin definitely planning on staying out as long as he can to try to receive 5 bonus points. Gets to the inside of Kevin Harvick in the middle of 1 and 2. Harvick's arrival, that scared the heck out of me. Harvick trying to take a swing at Mark Martin. He gets back down to the bottom as that costed Martin quite a bit of time on the backstretch. I did not realize he was a rival from that first accident. That scared me so badly. I was like, oh no! I thought he was going to wreck me. He tried. Held on to it, barely. Newman staying out again. Martin's just going to park it behind Harvick. Harvick obviously holding Mark up a little bit. Johnson looks to be pitting this time. He does. Harvick absolutely crowding Mark Martin right now, but he hangs on to his spot in front of the 6. Ryan Newman staying out again, though. Mark up to 4th. Problem is if he doesn't get by the 29 of Harvick and he has to pit the same lap as Harvick, Harvick arrival from Watkins Glen. That could be it. And he'll be pitting this time as well as Ryan Newman and Tony Stewart. So, new race leader at the line. It'll be Mark Martin getting 5 bonus points, leading his first lap of the day in the middle of green flag pit stops. Now, if he could catch a caution, he could trap a lot of cars a lap down the way things are running right now. Greg Biffle is behind him, out in front of everybody else who is already pitted. He'll probably end up cycling to the lead once the 6 of Mark Martin pits as well. So it may end up being a 3-stop race rather than just a 2-stop race. Greg Biffle would get the free pass position, being the first car a lap down, but everybody has pitted except for the 6 of Mark Martin. Martin desperately trying to catch a caution here, as he has this 1-lap lead. Greg Biffle looking to the outside, not going to get by yet. Some fresher tires than the 6. Mark Martin staying out one more lap. Lap 52 right now. Biffle to the inside. Door to door, back straightaway, but Greg Biffle will make the pass. Fresher tires working out for him. Mark with the crossover, though, into turns 3 and 4 is holding Biffle up a little bit. May allow the second place car to close in just a hair. Mark has led 5 laps now as he continues to stay out. It's still side by side into 1 and 2 as he battles on the inside of his teammate. Tight battle, but a clean one. Oh, Biffle's so close to clearing into turns 3 and 4. Couldn't quite do it, though. Mark Martin will stay out again. 6 laps led for Mark in the number 6. Really trying to stretch it on fuel here in the early going. Again on the inside of Greg Biffle, and again, Mark Martin will stay out of the pits, clears Biffle with a clean pass. Mark Martin really trying to stretch this run out. He will pit this time by. He will not risk it again. He is out of fuel anyway. Oh, man. I risked it a little too long. I knew I was risking it quite a ways there. And here come the leaders. This is going to cost Mark a lot of time. 4 tires of fuel. No adjustments on the 6. And he is down onto pit road. Well, that'll cost us a little bit of time. So we went 55 laps, about 54 and a half of which on fuel. Had a caution in there. Really trying to stretch that run. Mark Martin was able to lead 7 laps, get himself 5 bonus points. He's going to lose some track position, obviously staying out longer than everybody else. He was running just outside the top 20 anyway. And now he'll be in 30th when he gets up to speed. Still on the lead lap. We remain with just the 1 caution still in this race to this point. 13.4 seconds off the race lead right now is Mark Martin. So it's a 3-stop race. Everybody will have to pit 2 more times. Didn't run out of fuel on the backstart. You'd probably be 7 to 8 seconds off the lead if I had to guess. That definitely cost us a handful of seconds. Trying to coast it back to pit road. Alternate through the different camera angles one more time in today's race. A lot of time still to get back into this. Again, 2 more pit stops. Got an accelerated fuel window because of this race being just a 50% race. So that is why we were only able to go 54 laps. It's 55 laps on fuel. And again, that was with 1 yellow back on lap 4. Mark only about a 10th quicker than Greg Biffle that last lap. He's got about 7 lap fresher tires. It's really the difference in him being able to run just a skosh faster than Biffle. Casey Mears, Tony Raines side by side. Mears a rival of Mark Martin's. Martin to the inside of Tony Raines. 96 car makes a clean pass on Raines, who still got some damage from that early accident. It's not going to be an easy pass, though, in the 42 of Casey Mears. I can tell you that much. Mark Martin down on the bottom. Mears didn't take a swing at him there. Martin to the inside of the 42, and there's the swing. Hey, Casey Mears is able to stay off the wall. He did lose the spot, obviously. Mark Martin did a good job to keep from wrecking because he clipped the apron. Just not a thing you want to do at this racetrack. He clipped the apron. Kind of bounced off Casey Mears and really just kept going. Jeremy Mayfield and Jeff Burton. Next 2 cars ahead of Mark. We'll say the way this race has gone so far, that top 10 streak could be in jeopardy for Mark Martin. He just doesn't seem to have that good of speed today. Didn't help he lost a little extra time during those green flag stops. Self-inflicted mistake, obviously, for Mark, but learn from it. Won't go quite as far upfield this next time. Maybe try a 2-tire strategy to try to get him back into it as well. Mark trying to battle with Jeff Burton in the 31. Oh boy, squeezes under Jeff. Mark is clear for 25th. think about lap 43 was the first we saw drivers hit pit road during green flag pit stops. Actually, it might have been just before that. I think that was when Mark Martin might... No, well, we led 7 laps, so maybe it was around lap 43, 42 when we first took the lead during the run. How would it make me feel to not finish in the top 10? Well, it'd stink to have the streak come to an end. I think I could strategize my way to get a top 10 finish. And we know everybody will have to pit 3 times. Stretching it as far as I did that first run for fuel, I'm not going to have to go very long on tires to the end of the race. So I know I can leapfrog some spots that way. Probably have to take 4 tires the next stop, and then after that, go fuel only to the end. Slight clip of the apron there for Mark. First took the lead at lap 48. Yeah, so that makes sense, and that pit stop started at lap 43. Martin closing in on the Dover Monster. Gets to his inside. Makes the pass. Biffle's got a pretty sizable lead as well over second. 11.8 second lead. Mark Martin will get past Kyle Busch in the 5. Chris Davis, thanks for tuning in. 19 likes on the stream already. Appreciate that from all you guys as well. Right around the halfway mark. Actually, right at the halfway mark at today's race. Actually, no, never mind. I have the wrong lap. Lap 84 will be halfway, not 74. We're getting closer to halfway, but just a 50% race and already 19 likes on the stream, so appreciate that. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content and hit that like button if you haven't already on the channel. Got live commentary streams coming up this weekend for the NASCAR Xfinity Cup Series and our Throwback Thursday live stream after this, as we'll start that up at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Oof. Brian Vickers did not give Martin a lot of room there. Mark did a great job squeezing underneath him, making a quick pass, a clean one at that. Vickers may have gotten a bit loose getting into the corner, which caused for that bottom of the lane to be just a bit open, which was obviously enough for Mark to make a clean pass. Side by side between J.J. Yaley and Sterling Marlin for position, behind Joe Nemechek as well. Mark was 13.3 seconds off the lead. 13.3 to 13.4 off the lead. Only 7 lap fresher tires doesn't seem like much. It'll kind of make it seem like it's about 14 lap fresher tires for Mark. With this being a 50% race in the accelerated pit window. Josh Fornwalt, thanks for tuning in also. So close to winning at Pocono. Led coming to the white flag. Had a top 5 car at Watkins Glen. Maybe not the best car in the field, but had a top 5 car. Didn't get the finish he probably deserved in that one as well. Mark Martin gets by David Stremme. I think Stremme may be a lap down. The number 40. There's quite a few cars be for position, not too far up ahead of where Mark is running right now. They moved the start time for the Cup race on Sunday up an hour, so it's supposed to start around 1 o'clock. Oh, I think I just saw Paul Menard potentially get into the wall. J.J. Yaley got a big run to get to the inside of Reed Sorensen. Reed is a lap down, so is Paul Menard. Cleared the 41 easily, and he'll now clear the 15 easily. J.J. Yaley giving up a lot on the bottom that time. Hi, George. Welcome into the stream. 2 laps away from halfway in this one. Greg Biffle dominating at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. A lot of race still to go. 2 more pit stops left to get to the finish. Mark Martin just ran his fastest lap. Dropped to 30.237 that last time by. Troy, thanks for tuning in. Oh boy. Didn't want to go to the outside there. Made a pass on the top though by Joe Nemechek. It's actually impressive. Just a giant pack of cars in front of us. Not going to be easy. Man, it's a lot of traffic. Oh, Denny got a little loose. Three? Oh boy. Maybe it wasn't 3 by the time we got into the corner. I flatlined it. I thought I was going to squeeze into Hamlin. Barely got around him. That was dangerous. Well, Jeff Green with another top 15 run, that 66. What a season he's had. He should have had a top 10 at Watkins Glen if it wasn't for those late race restarts. And our race back on, what was that? Tuesday night. Mark just ran another quickest lap of the race. Oh, and there he goes. Yep. Keep it down, keep it down, keep it down. All right, we're good, we're good. I thought I was going to come back across the track. We're okay. We are okay. I clipped the apron, and around we went. I saved it, though. I thought I was going to come right back up into traffic. I started to, And then I gassed it up real quick before J.J. Yaley got to the back bumper. Alright, we'll throw fresh tires back on this thing and I think we'll be okay. Oh, jeez. 4 fresh tires and a new pair of britches. Everybody's coming in. We didn't lose too many spots because of that, so that's okay. Holy hellacia. I think we're okay. That was a close one. Did a complete 360 down there. Didn't hit anything, so we're okay. Car's still clean. Oh, jeez. Never mind. I don't have any control leaving my pit box. Oh, there's a little love tap again. Jeff Green got my way there. All right, we're good. We got the lap cars on the inside of the lead lap cars. Wow, Mark Martin gained a lot of spots on pit road. So did Jimmy Johnson. Johnson will restart as the leader. Mark will restart at 6th. I think he was 16th when he first spun. 10 spots gained on pit road for the 6 team. What a great stop. And Greg Biffle, who was dominating the race in the 16 car, is nowhere to be found. I think I see him out of the rear view. He's right around like 9th or 10th. He's stuck on the outside. A couple cars got underneath him. Michael Waltrip being one of them back there. Golly. Come on, Gordon, give me room. Jesus. What's that all about? I got to the outside cleanly, and then I bounced off the wall into him because he wasn't giving me a lot of room to make the corner. I had a good run on him. Jeff Green made a pass instead. 2x2 is his field right now. All jam-packed. Johnson lost a lot of track. Oh, Reed Sorensen got into his teammate David Stremme. Mark Martin passed about 5 cars down on the bottom, including Johnson, who was just leading moments ago. Both he and Martin both with 5 bonus points in the 38 M&M's Ford of Elliott Sadler now gets to the lead. Dave Blaney, Paul Menard on the inside. Tony Stewart trying to get underneath Matt Kenseth for second. Mark Martin is right there. He's got to run. Going for third underneath Matt Kenseth. Martin's got it clear for third. And a block on the 17 down the back straightaway. You know, that spin actually ended up helping us. Got some track position. We led during green flag pit stops for about 7 laps. Those are the only 7 laps I've led. Three-car breakaway at the front of the field. Stay tightly on that bottom. Kenseth almost got back underneath the 6. Johnson back into 5th. Now Tony Stewart going up the racetrack. Gave up. Oh, and Mark clipped the apron again. Good heavens. Didn't spin out that time. Gave up third. Trying to block Johnson for 4th. Jeff Green going to lose a spot to Ryan Newman. Kenseth trying to get back around Stewart for 2nd. Brian Santap, thanks for tuning in. We're trying. It's like 3/4 commentary. It's not as realistic as you'd see for the live commentary streams, but it's that with a little bit of colorful language, I guess, on the side. I try to keep it PG rated. Losing that top 3 definitely did not help Mark Martin here. Ryan Newman got by Jimmy Johnson pretty quickly. He's putting a lot of pressure on Mark Martin. Newman trying to go for back-to-back wins. Got his first career road course win at Watkins Glen in our last race on Tuesday night. Thanks, Brian. Kenson's going for the lead, by the way, on Elliott Sadler, meanwhile. Johnson gets back to 5th. Mark Martin just can't seem to close in the top 3 once he got loose. Lost the 3rd place position to Kenson. He was having a hard time trying to pass both Stewart and Sadler when he was right behind those two in 3rd as well. Might be about the peak for speed that the 6 car has today. Everybody has to pit one more time. They all pitted during that second caution for the 6 spinning. Luckily, the 6 didn't hit anything mid-spin. And we are down to just 69 laps to go. Kenson towards the top. Newman and Johnson continue to go back and forth for position. Martin trying to block the 12. Top 3 cars just cannot separate from each other. Johnson back to the inside again on Ryan Newman. Definitely not going field only for the final stop now that we're going to have more than just about a dozen laps left. Well, we do have to pit for the final time, and that's obviously if it goes green to the very finish. Hey, I'm not drinking and driving. I don't even drink. Kenseth for the lead. And he's got it. It'll be the 3rd Roush car to lead a lap tonight. The only one not to is Jamie McMurray in the 26, who I don't think has cracked the top 10 yet. But Kenseth just receives 5 bonus points for leading his first lap of the day. Tony Stewart into 2nd. Sadler from 1st, falling now to 3rd. The 12 and the 48 continue to go back and forth. That battle for the lead just a little bit, though. That last lap has allowed for Mark Martin to close in a bit. Tony Stewart trying to squeeze under Matt Kenseth, can't do it. Half a second off the lead. A little bit of smoke at turn 4. Somebody got into the wall, but no caution came out. Martin trying to get underneath the 38. Not quite able to. Top 5 cars, under one giant blanket. Mark Martin's so close to Elliott Sadler. Now he got underneath him. Slides clear. Side draft Stewart just a little bit. Trying to side draft the 20. And held on to get to 2nd. How about the run Mark Martin is having? We'll take our final field pass of the race. Drop back as Greg Biffle in the 10th place position. It was dominating the first half until that second caution came out. Lost some spots on pit road. Restarted about 9th or 10th and still runs there. Battling Dale Jr. for 9th currently. Dale Jarrett just behind the 16. PNW made 2:06. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, the game's a little twitchy. You barely tap the analog stick and I feel like it turns a lot in this game. Some tracks it's worse than others. Some tracks I don't have a problem with it, and it looks smooth. There are definitely some tracks in this game that looks very touchy. Well, Biffle makes the pass for 9th. 60 laps to go. We'll go 2 more laps with Biffle at the line. And then we will transfer to... Go to Matt Kenseth next. Thinks he's leading. Fuel window should open for drivers to be able to make it to the end of this race with about 50 to go. We're at 58 laps left as we run right now. Nobody will be able to make it for pitting during that last caution. Martin's still holding on to second. Maybe not for long, though. Newman just got underneath him. Kenseth leads. USG number 17 car. Let me clear for second. Sadler going for third on Mark Martin. Oh boy, about clipped the apron. And a little bit of contact with Ryan Newman after the fact. Trying to desperately hold on to the lead. And that may cost Newman second because Elliott Sadler has just gotten underneath him. What a battle at the front of the field. I would have to imagine green flag pit stops are going to thin some things out a little bit. Two more laps of the 17, and then we'll drive us to 26. Jamie McMurray for about 4 or 5 laps, and then back with Martin the rest of the day. Jimmy Johnson back in contention after leading on the restart. Lost the lead to Sadler, who then lost it to Kenseth. And Kenseth continues to lead. Jimmy Johnson going back for second underneath Tony Stewart. Johnson trying to get that first win. He's led a lot of laps this season. Hasn't led a lot today, just a couple of them on that initial restart, plus the laps under the caution when he won the race off pit road. Now he is battling Matt Kenseth for the lead. I think Greg Biffle's caught up into the picture. It might not be him a little bit further back. Alright, well, Jamie McMurray back in 20th right now. Right in front of Casey Kane as they battle for that 20th place position. Little Jamie, baby. "50 laps left, not this time by, but the following time. Geez, I overdrove that corner quite a bit. Just a reminder as well, we will be having a Throwback Thursday live stream tonight. We did not watch the 2001 Dover Fall race last night, so we'll be watching that later tonight. Little doubleheader on the channel means we did not stream yesterday. Elliott Sadler, by the way, just passed Matt Kenseth for the race lead. Waltrip, Kyle Busch, and Denny Hamlin. The 3 cars up in front of the 26 at McMurray. Kyle Busch still staying wide after Waltrip passed him cleanly. McMurray will get around it for 19th. Great run for the second-year driver Kyle Busch right now. Hendrick Motorsports, both him and Brian Vickers kind of struggling. Jimmy Johnson's up there contesting for the lead. We haven't really seen Jeff Gordon contend in this race, though, either. I think he's in the top 10 right now, but hasn't really been close to leading any laps today. Though neither was Johnson up until he won the race out of the pits. And now, obviously, he's in contention to win it. Waltrip, Hamlin, side by side. Hamlin will get past. 26 of McMurray's got a major run to the inside of Hamlin off of turn 4. For 18th place on the racetrack, and we will go back to Mark Martin for the rest of the day. Jeff Green, the outside of Mark off the exit of turn 2. Kenseth's lost a few spots right now. Looks like Jeff Gordon, by the way, up to second. We were just talking about him. Highest he has been up in the running order all night long. Jeff Green looking for a top 10 run on a 1.5 miles. Hangs on to fifth still. We've got problems. I think Jamie McMurray has just blown an engine. He is very slow. Oh, that's a tough break. He came into this race in the top, what, 4th in the point standings, I believe? Jeff Green, meanwhile, going to pass Ryan Newman for 4th. Martin will get by Newman for 5th. Johnson, meanwhile, passed Jeff Gordon for 2nd. And Green's got a run on Gordon. 30.130 that last lap for Martin, his fastest of the race yet. We're down to 46 laps to go. Jeff Green overdrove turn 1. Rear of his car slipped up the track just a little bit. Contact there. With Mark Martin, he kind of tapped that white line, wiggled, got into Green. Both cars slow up, but they continue to stay side by side. And Martin will finally complete the pass in turns 3 and 4. 45 laps left. As Elliott Sadler is out in front, Ryan Newman will get to 5th as he breaks the top 5 again, passing Jeff Green. Will we stay green to the end of this race? I believe McMurray may be the only driver out of the race today. Might be wrong on that, but it's the only driver I know of that blew an engine. Gordon trying to get back to 2nd on his teammate. Another quickest lap of the day. 30.125 for Mark Martin. 2 of his fastest laps have been ran of the last 3 completed. Got a major run right now in the backstretch. Dives under Jeff Gordon. An aggressive dive off the exit of the corner for Mark Martin. But it freed up the inside for Martin to make the pass for 3rd. $1,000 horsepower next gen. Thanks for tuning in. This is where Martin struggled to take the lead under green flag conditions. Got up to 2nd for a brief moment in this one, but that was about it. Everybody on equal tires. 30.079 that last lap. Another fastest lap of the race for Martin. Might get into the 29-second lap barrier here before the end of this race. Contact with Johnson. Hangs on to it. Mark Martin, with 40 to go, is up to second. Now can he get by Elliott Sadler? Johnson hangs on to third, lost a lot of track position. Martin trying to get that momentum back. It's a big dive getting into the corner that time for Martin. Looking low. Clean air advantage for Elliott Sadler's major. Martin on the low dive. Side draft Sadler at the start-finish line. Still can't pass him. This is unbelievable. 38 cars looking strong. Martin's only led 7 laps today, all during green flag pit stops. Yeah, I believe NASCAR 08's got the switch, the driver swap. I've never played 08 or 09, but I would imagine that they do. We're starting to see green flag pit stops for the final time today. I believe Elliott Sadler may be pitting this time, which will give Mark Martin the lead off of turn 4. 8 laps led on the day now for Mark. Jimmy Johnson's coming in for third. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Green flag pit stops. One last time in today's race. Mark Martin could not pass Elliott Sadler on his own. Did everything he could to pass him cleanly. He just couldn't pass him. Oh, NASCAR 08 doesn't have the driver swap. My bad, I thought it was pretty much for every EA game after NASCAR Chase for the... Or, sorry, not that game, on NASCAR 06. Total Team Control. Martin under Sorensen. The lap Reed, who just came out of the pits not that long ago. Reed will be a second lap down, technically. Greg Biffle on pit road. I believe Matt Kenseth is already pitted. Running out of laps. We're down to just 32 laps to go. You know, Mark Martin's not going to stretch this field run out as far as he did the opening field run of the race under green flag conditions. Let's go just a couple more laps and then he'll hit pit road. He's got a 1-lap lead on the field. If we were to see a caution, the second-place car would get the free pass. Mark Martin would be able to pit and remain the leader, so caution would be huge right now for the 6 car. Could also be big if he is on pit road. "30 laps left." Danny Haley, thanks for tuning in. Big block there on Sorensen. Harry T, welcome into the stream also. "29 laps to go." Mark will go one more lap. He'll pit with 28 laps to go in the race. So Mark will pit this time by for his final stop. He is not going to catch a needed caution. He'll have 27 laps to go when he cycles off of pit road. 4 tires and fuel, and no adjustments for the 6 this time as he's on his way in. And a perfect pit road entry for Mark Martin. Really couldn't have had a better pit road entry. 25 likes on the stream now. Appreciate that, everybody. See if we can get to 30 before the end of this one. And there goes Sadler. Really quick stop for the 38. Mark Martin trying to get up to speed. It's going to be 10th place by the time he gets up to speed here. Heading into turns 3 and 4. Boy, Mark Martin lost a ton of time on pit road. He didn't stay out that much longer than Elliott Sadler. Maybe about 6 or 7 laps longer. I think it was just a slow stop. There wasn't really any major mistakes necessarily on the 6's pit stop, but 4.2 seconds off the lead with now falling back to 10th place and just 26 laps to catch up. It's going to amplify, I guess, how old he was on those tires because of the 50% race length. So the fuel window obviously accelerated as well as the tire wear. Martin was about 2/10 quicker than Sadler that last lap. So now it's going to act as if he's got about roughly 14 lap fresher tires with the 50% race length. Looking to the inside of Dale Jr. for 9th. A lot of these drivers for position are not that far in front of him. He's about another 3/10 quicker that last lap than Elliott Sadler. I think Sadler's just getting into lap traffic. So if he gets held up a little bit that way also, could be interesting. Two to 3/10 quicker lap seems to be Mark Martin over Elliott Sadler right now. Jeff Green lost a little bit of time during the green flag pit stops as well. Still looking to get a top 10. David Stremme up there. Lap car. Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart right behind him. I don't know. I mean, 2 tires would have saved time on pit road, but they would have had a major tire advantage on me, and there were still too many laps left, I feel like, to try to take the right sides only. Use David Stremme as a pick to quickly get by Jeff Green in the 66. Green finally got by Stremme in turns 1 and 2. Quite a bit of clean air for Sadler right now. Greg Biffle getting really tight behind his teammate Matt Kenseth in the middle of turns 3 and 4. "20 laps left. Oof, flipping that apron just a little bit. Martin really digging. Honestly, if we end up getting a top 3, I don't think it was going to matter whether we took 2 or 4. 4 probably would have been our best chance to win in that case, I think. Sadler's just got such a good car. He's so hard to pass when he has the clean air advantage. Mark Martin with a run on the back straightaway. But nowhere to go with it as Tony Stewart protected the bottom. Oh! Stewart just got turned by Martin off turn 4. Caution flag is out for the 3rd time. Well, that's going to change some things here. Tony hit hard. Head on. I don't even know how I did that. I kind of turned down the track a little bit in the middle of the corner. I didn't think I was close enough to hitting him. We're going to restart with more than 10 to go, so the lap cars will still be on the inside of the lead lap cars. Whoops. Green flag back in the air. All original strategy just got thrown out the window with the caution coming out. Jeff Green went to the outside. Might get held up enough that Dale Jr. does make the pass on it for 9th. Who will be able to win this race off a late race restart with just 15 laps to go? Elliott Sadler boxed in. Ryan Newman to the lead off of turn 4. And will we stay green to the end of this race as well? Sadler still boxed in lap traffic. So is Johnson behind the 38. Big run for Mark. Looks to the inside of Johnson and Sadler. Picking them behind the Ganassi Dodges of Stremme and Sorensen. Mark to 6th. 13 to go. That Kenseth, by the way, got the 2nd on that restart. Kenseth may fall back here a little bit. See if that can make for easier passes for Mark Martin. Martin to the outside of Biffle. And Kenseth just clearing the 17. Gets by both his teammates for 4th. Question is Ryan Newman's car... Is Ryan Newman... Oh, I did not mean to do that. Poor Tony. Poor Tony Stewart. gonna think I'm trying to wreck him on purpose here late in this race. I'm surprised he's not a rival yet, to be completely honest. I'd be upset if I were him. He's gonna get a better finish out of this too, though. More than likely, the way things are looking. I wasn't even trying to side draft him. I don't even know how I did that either. Martin trying to get by Jeff Gordon for second. Off of turn 4. Gordon gave up the bottom just a bit. Martin, with that contact, slowed himself up. Gordon drives away a little bit as we are down to just 10 laps to go. Ryan Newman trying to win back-to-back races on the season. Got to the lead on a late race restart here. And got to the lead on a green-white checker late race restart at the Glen. Late cautions in these races definitely helped that 12 car out quite a bit. Again, Martin going for second underneath Gordon. The more these two battle, the better it will be for Ryan Newman at the front of the field. And again, Gordon hangs on. It's just so difficult to pass. Coming up on 9 laps to go. Martin again underneath of Gordon. Can Martin stay underneath Gordon though into 1 and 2? Oh, he got loose. Clipped the grass. Up the track. More contact with the 24. Stewart's going to get to 3rd. That was costly, and that might have ruined Mark Martin's chances of winning this race. Wonder where Jimmy Johnson's at following the restart. Martin only about a 10th quicker than Newman that last lap. Kurt Busch will get to 5th, passing Greg Biffle through turns 1 and 2. Clipping the apron. 5 to go. Even that last lap between Mark Martin and Ryan Newman. Battle for second is very tight between Stewart and Gordon. Mark a little loose off turn 2 there. Four to go. Mark overdrove turn 1 entry. Got to the bottom in the middle of the corner. Kurt Busch putting a lot of pressure on him. Both Penske cars in the top 5. Solid run for them tonight. Again, Newman trying to win back-to-back races. Two very different racetracks. Very different race lengths. The full race at Watkins Glen, a 50% race at Charlotte. And the only laps he's going to lead is late in the race off of the final restart, just like at Watkins Glen. It's unbelievable. Who would have known that Ryan Newman would be considered the closer? 2 to go at the line. This would be Martin's worst finish of the year if he finishes 4th. Stewart widens the entry out a little bit. He couldn't get all the way to the bottom. Coming up on the white flag this time by. Martin gained a lot of ground in turns 3 and 4. Looks to the inside of Tony Stewart. Side drafts him. Stewart trying to hang on. Goes up the hill a little bit. Mark Martin going to get to third. Don't think he's going to get to second. He's trying. Slams doors with Jeff Gordon for second. That's a little dirty. I got it, though. Second place. Just completely blasted Jeff Gordon out of the way for second there at the finish. Ryan Newman back-to-back wins. And Mark Martin finishes in second. Three wins for Dodge and 5 for Ford in the first 8 races. No Chevys have won. Newman led 20 laps today and goes on to win the race. 25 lead changes. I don't think we had quite that many, but again, it counts lead changes even if you don't lead a lap at the line, which isn't a technical lead change. It only does that in this game for whatever reason, or it didn't do that at least in the prior EA games. A 1.1 second margin to victory, 1 hour, 40 minutes, 19 seconds total time on this 50% race. 149.8 miles per hour average race speed, and again, 3 cautions. Just banged Jeff Gordon's door down for second place at the line. Not for the win, but for second. But getting all the points we can here in the early going of the season. Good run for us nonetheless. I don't think we had a race-winning car. We led 17 laps, but it was only during green flag pit stops. I didn't actually take the lead, outright in this one. But Newman ends up getting the win. Martin second, Jeff Gordon third, Tony Stewart fourth, and Kurt Busch rounds out the top 5. He led 1 lap today. Greg Biffle led 52 laps, finishing in 6th, dominated the first half of the race. Once that second caution came out, though, he never had the lead, lost the lead on pit road during those stops. Johnson ended up with the lead after that. Biffle cycled out like 9th or 10th, only got a few of those spots back. Elliott Sadler led 36 laps from the 33rd starting spot today, finishes 7th. Good run for him. Dale Jr. finishes 8th. Jimmy Johnson keeps his top 10 streak alive, finishing 9th. And Matt Kenseth rounds out the top 10 after starting on the pole. He led 15 laps today. Johnson led 1 lap, which was during the race off of pit road that he ended up winning. And he actually lost the lead right away on the restart, but Johnson led that lap coming to the green. So yeah, Jimmy Johnson, top 10 in every race this year. Mark Martin, top 3 in every race this season. This is the worst finish, actually, for Johnson. The last 2 races, he finished 8th at Watkins Glen Tuesday night and 9th tonight at Charlotte. Those are his worst 2 finishes. Definitely the 2 clear favorites for the championship, the way things are looking right now. Our teammate Jamie McMurray blew an engine, finished 41st tonight. And as far as drivers who DNF'd, Jamie McMurray, Kyle Busch, and Dave Blaney all blew motors in this race. They were the only 3 drivers that DNF'd, and we had 38 cars finish on the lead lap in this one. So we will take a look at the point standings before we end the stream. And then in about 20 minutes, we will have the next live stream tonight with our double headers. We'll be re-watching the 2001 MBNA Cal Ripken 400, Cal Ripken Jr. 400 at Dover. That will be the 2001 fall race. Our next race on this schedule will be the Dodge Charger 500, the Southern 500, in fact, at Darlington. So Southern 500 at Darlington will be the next race there. Ice Demon King 92 Hammer, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I can't believe the start that both ourselves and Johnson are on. Neither one of us has finished outside the top 10 these first 8 races. Mark Martin with the lead over Johnson, and then it's a big gap back to Kenseth in third on back. This is a full season points format, too. Yeah, Mark Johnson going toe-to-toe this season. Kenseth third. McMurray blew the engine. He was 4th in points coming into the night. Falls all the way back to 15th. Wow. Tough break for Jamie McMurray. So what a start to the year he had before that. With the back-to-back wins for Ryan Newman, he was outside the top 10 in points before he won at Watkins Glen. Then he jumped to 7th, and now he jumps from 7th to 4th this race. And he's only, 43 points behind Matt Kenseth for 3rd? Way to go, Ryan Newman. Having a great start to the early going of his season. Thanks for everybody tuning in tonight. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I'll see you at the top of the hour for our Throwback Thursday live stream this week. It'll be a special one. You won't want to miss it. The 2001 Dover Fall Race coming up very shortly. Appreciate it, everybody. See you in a little bit.